So yeah, hopefully you got a little, oh, we have to get that off the screen. We don't really want to see me for, there we go, cool. So let me tell you a little bit about the book, and then I want to share a few things that I've learned while I've been traveling. As I mentioned in the video, it is, there are a lot of times where you really do just have to pinch yourself, because from day to day, you're doing a lot of really cool, interesting things, whether it's flying around in a NASA simulator down at the Rocket Center in Huntsville, or you're behind the scenes somewhere, backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, or whatever. I get to do a lot of really cool and interesting things. And as I mentioned in the video, for me, it's really the people that you get to meet. And this is one thing that I talk about a lot when I travel and when I talk to groups. It's about, and St. Louisans, for as much as I love St. Louisans, we really do have a bad habit of kind of looking down, and we don't like to make eye contact with one another so much. I see this all the time. Everybody's on their phone. When you travel to some other parts, especially the South, I think I was born to be in the South, quite honestly. And some of you may not like this, I love it when strangers will come up to me and just start talking. Like, I will talk to these people. And I was down in Tunica, Mississippi about 6 months ago, and I was at a gas station, minding my own business, filling up. 3 different complete strangers walked up to me to have a conversation. I'm just pumping gas. And I loved it. I couldn't talk enough to these people. It was fantastic. And they were genuine. They were sincere. They wanted to know how my day was going. They wanted to know, what are you doing here? Maybe they just didn't recognize me. They knew everybody else in town. Maybe that's why they were being so nice. But it does happen a lot, especially throughout the South. And that's one of the reasons I like the South so much. Let me talk a little bit about the book. So, Reedy Press contacted me about, in October or August, September, somewhere end of last summer, early fall. And they asked me to do a book on Route 66. And like an idiot, I told the publisher no, because that kind of stuff happens all the time to travel writers. Publishers just want you to write books. So thankfully it ended up okay. I said, well, I don't want to write a book about Route 66, but what I would like to do is maybe do a 100 Things book. The publisher has a line of these books all over the United States. There's one here in St. Louis, Chicago, Indianapolis. Every city pretty much has one of these, and Reedy Press has put them together. And I said, well, what about a 100 Things to Do in America Before You Die book? And they said, sure, go for it. So that's what I did. So the process of picking 100 things was pretty difficult, as you might imagine. A lot of index cards all over the living room floor. And I just had a couple of criteria to make it into the book. For starters, I wanted to have at least one thing from every state. And apparently I have failed miserably because I left off Minnesota and New Jersey. So if you're from Minnesota or New Jersey, please accept my humble apologies. But other than that, pretty much, well, every state except for those 2 is included in the book. That was sort of the first criteria. The second was, I wanted to write a book that, and this will sound funny, it always sounds funny when I say this, but picture an alien coming down from outer space, okay? They have no idea what on earth America is. They've never heard of America. They don't know anything. They don't know what we eat. They don't know our history. They don't know our culture. They know nothing. So what could you do, what 100 things could you do that a complete stranger to the United States could do, that when we finished all 100 of these, they get it. They go, I get it, I know what America is. And so that's how I came up with the 100. Certainly there could be 5,000 things that you would want to see or do in the United States, but I tried to pick 100 so that at the end of this book, after you go through all of these experiences, you'll go, all right, I get it, I know what it's like to be an American. There's civil rights, there's recreation, there's music, there's food, there's sports. So there's a little bit of everything throughout the pages. Somebody mentioned earlier that they liked the pictures. I took all of the pictures in the book. I'm sort of an amateur photographer. And I may be bad luck because one of the pictures that I included was of the Cedar Bridge in Madison County, Iowa. Well, it just burned down like 2 weeks ago. So hopefully nothing else burns down that's in the book. So before we play a couple of trivia games, I want to do something. I'll only do it today, and I'll only do it on this part of the tour. And And so here's what I want to do. One of the things that I talk about a lot is stereotypes. This has become a really big deal for me because as I meet all of these people across the country, I find that more and more, just about everybody is pretty much, they're just like us. They might sound a little different, they might eat different types of food, they might move too slow or too fast or whatever, but overall, everybody pretty much wants the same things out of life. And it's really unfortunate now people are so polarized with their politics and whatever that we don't take time to get to know people just as people. And so I'm going to tell you a quick story, but I'm going to do it on the phone here. And the reason I'm going to do this is I have a great story, and it has to do with people stereotyping. And I always use this example when I talk to people. And it has to do with one particular person. I meet a lot of people, as you might imagine, but I always tell this one story about this one person. And so I'm actually going to call her. She's in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I'm going to call her, and I'm going to tell her this story. She's never heard it before, and I'm going to tell her in front of all you folks today. So if you don't mind, this will be interesting, to say the least. So let's see. Her name is Kendall. And it'll be real funny if it goes to voicemail. All right. And my phone is like friggin' out here. Have you all been to Schlafly Bottle Works before? You guys been here before? It's a great place. It really is. All right. So while I'm dialing this, I will just set this up and say that I do probably, when I do a road trip, I do 5 to 7 cities at a time. So I will start here in St. Louis. I'll pick one final destination. So let's just say it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I find interesting ways to go between point A and point B. So I never take a straight shot one place or the other. Sometimes that takes me to big cities. Sometimes that takes me to small towns. And it's a great deal of fun, and it's a cool way to travel. All right, so here we go. I'm going to call her. This is very brave, by the way. I hope you realize this is live. At least not on the air. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear her or not. Hello, is this Kendall? Hang on, can you hear her? Hey, Kendall, I want you to say hello to St. Louis. Everybody say hi to Kendall. Oh, I hit mute. For the love of God, I have never hit mute on my phone ever, and I just did. Hang on. Why are your people laughing? I'm sorry that they can't hear your southern hillbilly voice that you have there. And can you hear me still? You can hear. You guys kind of hear it a little bit? Yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm calling you because we're doing our book tour today, Kendall, and you don't know this, but I always, or a lot of times, I use you as an example when I talk about places that I travel, and you've never heard this story, so I'm going to share it with you and all of these people here in the room. Is that okay?
Yes, good Lord, I'm nervous.
Well, you shouldn't be nervous. About when did we meet? Like 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. All right. So about a little over 3 years ago, I'm planning one of these trips, and I'm telling a group of friends, here are the places that I'm thinking about going. And so I've got a list of 5, 6, 7 places or whatever. And I said, I'm thinking about Little Rock, Arkansas. And so one of the ladies that is in the conversation, she says, Little Rock, Arkansas. You don't want to go there. And she starts naming all these things. Oh, you don't want to go there. So I think about it, and I said, well, that settles it. I'm going to Little Rock, Arkansas. And that's kind of how I operate. So one thing I always tell people is when you listen to stereotypes and you listen to people who have negative things to say about people or places, oftentimes you can miss out on some really great opportunities and getting to meet really great people. So I go to Little Rock, Arkansas, and I meet Kendall. Kendall, tell them where you work.
I work at the Museum of Discovery. We are a science and technology center. It's a museum of sorts, but really kind of a STEM center, so I handle the marketing there.
Yeah. So I interviewed Kendall. And Kendall and I became great friends. She's very sarcastic, just like I am. And over the years that I have known her, we have become would you say we've become pretty decent friends?
I mean,
That's why I like her. She says crap like that. So I bring up this example, and I call you on the phone to tell you this too, because especially here lately, Kendall and I have had a lot of really great conversations, and she's been very supportive. And I often think about, had I listened to that person that told me not to go to Little Rock, Arkansas, I never would have met Kendall. And her, hey, pipe down, you get a chance in a minute to talk. And Kendall and other people that are in Little Rock as well, they're absolutely fantastic. And I often think about that. And I always share that story because we all do that. You don't want to go there, you don't want to go here. And I think my advice to you would be, don't listen to these people because you never know what you might miss out on. So there you go. I wanted you to hear that story because you have never heard it, correct? All right, well, give my best to the good folks in Little Rock. What's your favorite part about Little Rock? Has anyone been to Little Rock, Arkansas? Here in the room? Okay, about half. Besides, you can't say the Museum of Discovery because you get paid to do that. So what do you think?
So for me, I love just that Arkansas itself is a beautiful state, and Little Rock is absolutely beautiful, and there's so much to do if you are an outdoorsy type of person. We have beautiful trails and trails along the river, and there's wonderful places to eat. I mean, I'm a big fan of eating, so the restaurants are incredible. There's just so much to do, but definitely I think the people. I mean, I'm a clear example of the people in Little Rock.
Oh, for Pete's sake! She's also very humble. I like that about her.
But you honestly will not meet, I think, any nicer people than Arkansans and then people in Little Rock as well. I mean, it's not a huge city, but we're a decently sized city, and I think sometimes you think that people aren't kind in larger cities, but in Little Rock, we're some of the nicest people I think you'll ever meet, and we love to have visitors, and we love to, just show them how great Little Rock and Arkansas really is.
Okay, your time is up. All right, everybody say goodbye to Kendall.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Have a good Sunday. All right, see you later. Bye-bye. All right, so there you go. Well, that actually worked better than I thought it was going to work. And before we proceed, just so you can get a look at her, there she is. That's Kendall down in good old Little Rock, Arkansas, at the Museum of Discovery. All right, so let's play our first game. So the publisher told me that I'd have to do these little book signing things, and that just sounds incredibly boring to me, sitting at a table and signing books. So I said, well, what if I just get to mingle with people and share some stories and play some games? And they said, well, just do whatever you want, I guess. So that's what we're going to do. So, I have not played, a couple of these we've played with other people, but you'll be the first. So these could be great, these could be horrible, and again, it's one of those things, you're the first group, so we'll see how it works. So the first one's going to be name that state. So I got a little clue, and what I'm going to do is I have here a very patriotic hacky sack, and I'm going to throw it at somebody. Well, I'll toss it. I won't show off my mad pitching skills. And then you're going to have to try to guess the answer. If you can't guess it, we'll as a group, we'll try to answer it. And then you will have the opportunity to toss it to somebody else in the room, and we'll go along like that. And don't toss it to somebody you know, toss it to somebody that's new, okay? So here we're going to try first, and because you're in the front row, ma'am, you never sit in the front row. And I'm going to toss it to you, and I'm going to try and get it in your beer. All right, so here's the first one. And we'll see how smart we all are. All right, so you're going to name the state. All right, so here is our first one. All right, Abraham Lincoln's home. The only house that he ever owned, the only house that Lincoln ever owned, is located in what state? Illinois. Now, you can't shout out the answer. It's the lady with the ball gets to answer that. Hold your horses. All right, what is it? Illinois, that's right. Okay, that was an easy one. All right. So now you just stand up where you're standing, turn around, and just toss it to somebody that you don't know. Oh, just don't hit the projector because we have enough issue. All right, there you go. All right, that's Tom, Joseph, Joe.
Right,
Joe. All
right.
Joe, you're the next. Here we go. All right, Mall of America, the country's largest shopping mall, is located in what state?
I'm thinking Minnesota.
That is absolutely correct. Yeah, Minnesota. Nice job. That was another fairly easy one. All right. Now, toss that to somebody else if you've heard that before. There you go. Okay, toss it to somebody else. All right, that's Dan Strauss. All right. All right, so here's the next one. This statue is called the Golden Driller. It represents the boom in the American oil industry. It's located in what state?
I can't even see him.
Poor Dan in his eyes. The oil industry. I forget how tall this guy is, but he's gigantic. I have a picture of me standing next to him, and his foot comes over my head. So what do you think? What state? The Golden Driller represents the boom in the American oil industry. Located in what
I'll
state?
say Oklahoma, Bill.
That is correct. Nice job. Yes. I have a feeling you got some help. No? On your own. All right.
I only know planets.
Oh, yeah, you do. All right. So go ahead and toss that to someone else and turn to knock over someone's beer.
Oh, here.
All right. All right. All right, so this obviously is the Liberty Bell. Rang out for people to hear the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence. The Liberty Bell is located in what state? No, it's not Massachusetts. All right, audience, anybody want to help her out?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. All right, Gail, go ahead and toss that to somebody else. Oh. It's like grade school. Nobody wants to be. Maybe they won't look at me. Maybe they won't notice I'm here. All right. All right, so the next one. The giant fist of boxer Joe Louis. It's a beautiful statue. It is located in a downtown area, a very, I say, popular downtown area. What state would you think that is?
Michigan. Michigan.
That is correct. Yeah, Detroit, Michigan. Very nice. All right. Go ahead and pick another joke. Okay, here we go. All right, this is a good one. I like this one. This is the old schoolhouse where music legend Tina Turner attended school. It's now a museum in this state. What do you think? Take a guess. It's a, I guess you'd call it a southern state. No, not quite that far south. Anybody know? What? Not Mississippi. He said Mississippi. She actually sang a song about her hometown. It was called Nutbush City Limits. I don't know if you've ever heard that song or not. Yeah, you've heard it. And the name of the town, or the state, I should say, is Tennessee. Tennessee. All right, finally we got one that folks didn't know. All right, toss that. Oh, you are. It's a good thing you're a good catch. I don't think she would have been happy. Okay. All right, so here we go. The next one. This is the Love Sculpture. Now, these are located all across the United States, cities all over the America. The original one is at an art museum in what state? Nope. Try again. Try one more time. It's relatively close to Missouri, not too far. Heading east. What do you want me to just tell you how many words, how many letters are in the state? Not Kentucky. No, anybody know? Indiana. It's at the Indianapolis Art Museum.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the original. They have them all over the country now. All right. Toss to somebody else. About 9. There's empty glasses on that table. All right. Couple more here. Well, I haven't even given you the clue. All right, this is the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It is located in what state? Ohio, that's right. Nice job. All right. Go ahead and hand that off to somebody else. hand it or throw it or, there you go. All right. Mammoth Cave National Park. It is the world's largest known cave system. It's located in what state? It is not in Missouri. You should have listened to the cheater over there. It's in the great state of Kentucky. It's a really amazing cave system, actually. All right, we got one more. Go ahead and toss that to somebody else. All right. All right, so the final one here, is that you, Tony? Do you have it? Okay, cool. The tallest state capitol building in America is located in what state? The former governor of this state was actually shot inside the Capitol. There's bullet holes still in the Capitol. It's a southern U.S. state along the Gulf Coast. Starts with an L. Ends with an Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah, it's Louisiana! All right, nice job. All right, so for our next game here, I'm going to need a volunteer from the audience. And if no one picks it, I'll just throw that ball at somebody. How about a volunteer? Debbie, come on. Come on, you can do it. Come on up. All right. All right, welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we call this the hashtag game. Everybody knows what a hashtag is? You guys know what a hashtag is? All right, so these are for Bill on the Road. This is the best Target could buy, by the way, right here. So my hashtag is BOTR, and holy crap, look at that, it lights up. So here's what we're going to do. You need to pick 7 of these cards, okay? So far, so good. All right, so I'll take these. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I have 7 questions here. You only get 3 strikes, all right? So you only get 3. Yeah, I'm asking you, but they can help if you don't know it. It's a team effort here, but I think you'll do okay. So for every one you get right, we get to light up. This is like the friggin' Price is Right. Are you right? All right. So for every answer we get right, we get to light up a deal here. Okay. All right. So here we go. So here is the very first one, and some of these are multiple choice. So here we go. The tomb of the unknown soldier at Arlington National Cemetery is a memorial to soldiers from what 4 wars? There are 4 wars. It's a memorial to those soldiers that fought in those 4 wars. What do you think? Vietnam is one.
Okay, World War II, World War I, Korea.
Woo! That's one, yeah! It's flickering, but it's still, oh, there it goes. Okay. Story of my life. Okay, that's good. All right, so the next one. Which opened first, Disneyland or Disney World?
I would think the one in California.
Yeah.
Well, but that doesn't answer the question. So which one is
Which one opened first? Disneyland.
it? Disneyland is right, yep. I gotta note to self, I gotta make these way more difficult. All right. How many Harvard students wound up being president of the United States? I got a multiple choice. How many Harvard students wound up being president of the United States? 3, 5, 8, 10. 3, 5, 8, or 10. How many Harvard presidents wound up being president of the United States? It is not 5. It's not 5. Anybody want to guess? 8. It is 8. So that's all right. So that's one strike. Doing good. All right. There are 50 states in the United States, obviously. What state was number 50? What state was number 50? Hawaii, that's right, yeah. All right. They're not that hard. You're doing great. All right. I love this question. There are 4 state capitals named after U.S. presidents. Name 2 of them. There are 4 state capitals named after U.S. presidents. Name 2 of them.
Okay, let's see.
One of these you should totally get.
That's in Missouri.
You can't think of the name of our own state capital?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of them, right? I have to say it.
Oh, you gotta say 2 of them. If I were you, I would, but
Cheat. Say that one. Give me another one, Mark.
because asking somebody in the audience isn't cheating. So one is, all right, help her out. What's the Missouri one?
Jefferson City.
Jefferson City, okay. So now, yeah, name one other one.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
One's in the Midwest, 2 of them are in the Midwest, and one's in the South. There you go. They're yelling at you. All right. Jefferson City, Madison, Wisconsin. Oh, your time is up. Jackson, Mississippi, and Lincoln, Nebraska. That's okay. You're doing good. You're doing great. Which one of these you want? Which one do you want me to ask you? This one. Okay. I wouldn't have picked this one. The National Aquarium, Fort McHenry, and Babe Ruth's birthplace are all in this city. National Aquarium, Fort McHenry, and Babe Ruth's birthplace are all in this city. Don't tell her, but how many of you know the answer? Okay. It is not Chicago. What is it?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah. All right. Boy, talk about pressure. Okay. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is located in what U.S. city? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Upper Midwest, I would call it.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah? People are trying to help you. Ohio! Cleveland, Ohio! You got it. All right.
We're teaming.
Ohio is not technically a city, but I'll give it to you anyway. All right, how about a round of applause for her? Here we go. Just a little something for you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Nice job. All right. I'm going to need a couple other volunteers, 2 people that don't know one another, to come on up and help me out here. How about it? All right, come on up here. And you're gonna take one of these.
We don't eat candy.
All right. Come on, don't make me come out there. How about you, Dad? Come on out. You haven't done anything today. All right, there you go. This is my dad, Rick. Introduce yourself to him. All right. So, here's what we're going to do. We are going to play the match game. You guys remember you've heard the match game, right? Of course you have. All right. So I'm going to ask you questions. You'll see them up on the screen. Some of them are fairly stereotypical, and that's what's going to hopefully make this interesting. The idea is for both of you guys to match as many as we can here, okay? So you'll answer the question, you write it down. Don't reveal your answer to me or the audience until I tell you, okay? All right, so here we go. The first one's on the screen. It's barely on the screen. Okay, here we go. New York City is a very blank place. New York City. Oh yeah, there it is. your answer was big. The irony is you wrote that as small as you possibly could. But, okay, big. And you wrote busy. Okay. Unfortunately, not a match. All right, so go ahead and erase that with your fancy erasers there. What would the rest of you have said? Did somebody say friendly? Well, you said friendly? I've never heard anybody go, New York City is a very friendly place. Okay. Ready? Here's the next one. In the state of Florida, people drive very blank. In the state of Florida, people drive very blank. You got an answer? Find out something. Okay, so apparently, okay, so this time. All right, you wrote what? Fast? Who drives fast in Florida? I'm with you. Yeah, I guess it depends on what part of Florida. Maybe you should switch. All right, not good. All right. I would have put slow. Who else would have put slow? Yeah, they're driving kind of slow. Okay. It's a stereotype, that's right. All right, here we go. Here's the next one. When on vacation, a blank is probably the least expensive souvenir you'll find. And the horrible part is you finished before the music even started. Okay. All right. You wrote what? A shirt is the least expensive. A magnet. Okay. I would have put postcard. Who else would have said postcard? That's what I was going to do. Okay. Well, it's a good thing you guys don't have to travel together. All right. Couple more. Before starting a road trip, you should never leave home without your blank. Before starting a road, keep it clean. Before starting a road trip, you should never leave home without your blank. Okay, what do you got? Well, show them. Glasses. All right, you? American Express. I would have said cell phone. What would you guys have said? GPS? Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I think there's one left. No, I think there's two. All right, here we go. When people think of Washington, D.C., blank is the first thing they think of. When people think of Washington, D.C., blank is the first thing they think of. Okay. I don't even want to know what you wrote. You wrote, Capitol, the Capitol, okay? And you wrote the White House. The White House, that's what I would have put.
Yeah.
The Capitol's not horrible. All right, I'm really thinking you guys are going to get the next one. I really think you'll get the next one. Oh, maybe there's two more. The state of Tennessee is best known for blank. The state of Tennessee is best known for blank. No, oops. Got it? You wrote the Grand Ole Opry. The Grand Ole Opry, sorry. And you wrote Elvis. Okay, Memphis, Elvis, all right. Okay, you guys have to get this next one or I'm canceling my book tour. I am craving the freshest lobster in America. I should take a road trip to blank.
Gotta get this one.
I am craving the freshest lobster in America. I should take a road trip to blank. Okay, why don't you both show your answers at the same time? Maine or Schnucks? We'll go with the first one. All right, thank you guys. Here, I got a little something for you. There you go. Thank you. Maine or Schnucks? All right. Well, we're running out of time, so I'm just going to tell you a couple more things about this book, and then I'm going to let you guys go. So, a couple of the cool things. I talked about some of these different experiences. Everybody have a copy of the book, by the way? Hopefully you got one if you wanted to get one. Since he mentioned Elvis, I'll talk about one of the experiences in there. It's listening to Elvis's first recording in Memphis at Sun Studio. Is anyone who has not been to Sun Studio in Memphis, Tennessee? So when you think about really American culture, and you think about how many things happened in our country because of Elvis Presley, it's really pretty fascinating, the domino effect that he had, that his music had on everything. Think about the way things were before Elvis came along, and think about the way things have happened because of him. And the cool thing, or interesting thing, is that Sam Phillips didn't even like Elvis. He heard him and said, no, not interested. And it was the secretary, it was Sam Phillips' secretary at Sun Studio that said, no, this kid's got something. And she let him record in Sun Studio. And the neat thing about Sun Studio is it's gone through a few transformations over the years as far as what it has been. It's been a barber shop, it's been a couple other things. But everything has stayed exactly the same. In fact, you look up and the ceilings tiles look like they're about to fall on your head. I mean, they have not really touched or changed anything. So you go into Sun Studio, they give you a little tour, it's very small, and you stand there. You can stand in front of a microphone just like Elvis would have, and they will play for you recordings of Elvis's very first time in the studio. And you stand there in the very spot where Elvis would have recorded, and you hear those early recordings on that scratchy tape, and it is unbelievable to stand there and hear these songs and to hear him sing and to go, oh my God, what if this never happened? What if that secretary had never let him come in and record these things? So that's a really cool one. That's absolutely one of my favorites. There are a lot of things I like. Well, I'll mention it since he's in the book and since my dad just stood up. By the way, you're going to have to come with me, I think, to every stop because we need volunteers. So who's been to Cooperstown, New York, for the Baseball Hall of Fame? Only a few of you? It's really not convenient to get to. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but it's beautiful. I would suggest going in the fall if you're going to go because it's spectacular. We actually took a trip a couple of years ago. In fact, there's a picture of my dad in the book standing at Stan Musial's locker, which I thought was really cool. And how many times did I say to you while we were driving, oh my gosh, look at the fall colors. Look at the, I'm like, are you seeing this? Are you seeing, I mean, like 50 times, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful drive, but it is out in the middle of nowhere. But that's another one of those things. Think about baseball. Think about the way that baseball has changed our country. And think about how many, young kids played baseball growing up, or how many people, have aspired to be baseball players as, little kids, or whatever. So Cooperstown is absolutely one that you have to check out. I'll pick one more here. Since it's in New York, and we're talking about Cooperstown, the Toy Hall of Fame. Has anyone been to the Toy Hall of Fame? All right, so that's in Rochester, New York. This was a place that I think I just stumbled on online and found out about it. And to this date is one of my favorite museums. It's called the Strong Museum of Play. Strong was the name of a woman who had a very extensive toy collection. and ended up donating it to a museum in Rochester. And so the Toy Hall of Fame is in this museum. And they have everything you could possibly have imagined either you wanted to play with as a kid or something that you did have as a kid. And one of the cool things, and it's in the book, there's a picture in the book, I can't remember what page it's on, they have the original Monopoly board. And so what's cool about the original Monopoly board is it was in the shape of a circle. People don't know that. Before, we see the Monopoly boards now and they fold into the rectangle or whatever. They used to be circular because people had circular kitchen tables and that's where they went. They went on the kitchen table. And so they have that there and they have just about, seriously, every toy you could possibly think of on display at the Toy Hall of Fame. There are 100 experiences in this book. That is one thing that I really wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that these were not just places to go. These are experiences. So when you go there, you'll have something to do, and hopefully it's something unique that you'll go and you'll enjoy. There's also a section in here I should mention called photo ops. So now we all kind of are in the selfie era where people like to take pictures of themselves standing in front of certain things. So there are 10 places that I think that everybody should absolutely have a picture in front of, from the Hollywood sign to the Hoover Dam. So, having said that, does anyone have any questions about traveling or about the book or anything like that? Where the bathroom is? I don't care, whatever. Before we cut out here for the afternoon? Okay, well this is an easy group. Going once, going twice. Yes, sir.
Have you ever been to St. Augustine, Florida, the oldest city in the United States?
I have not. I've probably driven through St. Augustine, but I haven't stopped there.
That's an interesting though.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll check it out. Yes, ma'am.
Of the places that you've gone so far, what was your favorite?
Everyone asks that question, and I never answer the question, and I'll tell you why. So, as a travel writer, I go to each place with an open mind and a clear slate. So I do that with places that I love, and I do it with places that I don't like. And so the reason is because when I go to certain places, I have to go in and I have to explore, and I have to. Detroit's a great example. I'd always heard horrible things about Detroit, and even from people in my own business. And so when I was in Detroit I've been there twice, but I went last fall for a kind of a press trip with a bunch of other writers, and I loved Detroit. I thought Detroit was fantastic, but had I not gone in with an open mind, I know I would not have enjoyed it. And it's interesting now because we always hear Detroit, and it's, oh my gosh, it's like kind of like St. Louis, most dangerous city in America, whatever. Detroit's actually, it's pretty neat. They've installed cameras everywhere. You walk down the street, they are all over the place. And so the riffraff or people that are causing trouble, they're gone. They're not in because they know they're going to be caught on tape. So it's pretty cool. Look at me, like I can defend myself. I'm walking down the streets of Detroit at 10:30 at night, and I never felt unsafe once. There are obviously some bad parts on the outskirts of Detroit, but downtown, where all the action, never felt unsafe once. So I'm sorry I can't answer your question. I do have a lot of places that I like to go back to. I like small towns like Winterset, Iowa is one of my favorite towns. Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, Greenville, South Carolina. There's a bunch, but I never pick one favorite. Anybody else? God help me. Charlie?
We've got this board over here with our bucket list places.
Oh, yeah.
What's on your bucket list?
Wow, my bucket list. That's actually a really good question. I can't believe you asked it. Wow, that is a really great question. My bucket list. What have I not done?
Should I ask you another one instead?
No, it's a really good question. Can I email it to you? I'll think about it. I really don't. Did you have another question? Or you just okay.
Along those lines, what's the most disappointing place you've ever been that didn't meet up your expectations?
So I should never say this, but since no one's videotaping, right? Turn your camera off, pal.